falling deeply in love with someone, only to realize that one day, they might forget you, or slowly lose control of their own body. Now imagine loving them so much that you choose to stay anyway. Today's movie tells the emotional story of love, illness, and sacrifice. This is the story of Jamie Randall, a charming salesman who thinks life is all about money and women, until he meets someone who completely changes his world. Let's dive into Love and Other Drugs. The story begins in the late 1990s. We meet Jamie Randall. Jamie is extremely charming, confident, and good with people, but he's also irresponsible. In fact, he gets fired from his job at an electronics store for sleeping with the manager's girlfriend. Jamie's older brother Josh is very successful and constantly reminds Jamie that he's wasting his potential. So Jamie decides to try something new. He applies for a job as a pharmaceutical sales representative. His job is simple: convince doctors to prescribe his company's drugs, but the competition is intense. Jamie works for a company trying to promote Zoloft, while rival companies are pushing their own medications. At first, Jamie struggles badly. Doctors ignore him, nurses throw him out, and other sales reps dominate the market. But Jamie has one secret weapon: his charm. Instead of just selling drugs, he starts building relationships with doctors and staff, and that's when he meets someone who will change his life forever. While visiting a doctor's office, Jamie meets Maggie Murdoch. Maggie is confident, funny, and extremely independent. Jamie immediately tries to flirt with her, but Maggie isn't impressed. She's smart enough to see right through his charming tricks. Still, there's an undeniable chemistry between them. Soon after, Jamie manages to track Maggie down again. After some playful arguments and flirtation, they eventually end up sleeping together. But Maggie makes something very clear. She doesn't want a relationship, no commitment, no emotional attachment, just something casual. Jamie, who usually avoids serious relationships anyway, agrees. At first, everything seems perfect. They keep meeting, they have fun together, and neither of them expects anything serious. But Jamie soon realizes there's something Maggie isn't telling him. One day, Jamie accidentally discovers Maggie's secret. She has Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is a progressive neurological condition that slowly affects movement, coordination, and eventually everyday life. Maggie was diagnosed at a young age. When Jamie learns the truth, he is shocked. But instead of walking away, he becomes more interested in Maggie. For the first time in his life, Jamie starts caring about someone more than himself. Meanwhile, Jamie's career suddenly improves. A new drug hits the market. It's called Viagra. Almost overnight, Viagra becomes one of the most successful pharmaceutical products in history. Doctors everywhere want it. Patients ask for it constantly. Jamie quickly realizes this is an opportunity. Using his natural charm and sales skills, he becomes one of the top pharmaceutical reps in the region. Money starts pouring in. His boss praises him, and for the first time, Jamie seems to be building a real future. But even as his career skyrockets, his personal life becomes more complicated because Jamie is falling in love with Maggie. At first, Maggie keeps insisting their relationship is casual. No emotions, no future. But over time, she begins to fall for Jamie too. They start spending more time together, cooking meals, watching movies, talking about their fears and dreams. For Jamie, this is completely new. He's never cared about someone this deeply before. But Maggie constantly reminds him that her disease will eventually get worse. She attends support groups where she meets other people suffering from Parkinson's. Jamie goes with her to one of the meetings, and that's when he sees the reality of the illness. Some patients can barely walk. Others struggle to speak. For the first time, Jamie understands how serious Maggie's future could be. Jamie becomes obsessed with helping Maggie. He starts researching treatments and experimental therapies. He drives her to different doctors across the country. He refuses to accept that nothing can stop the disease, but Maggie begins to feel overwhelmed. She doesn't want Jamie sacrificing his life for her. She believes that eventually he will regret staying with someone whose health will only decline. So Maggie makes a painful decision. She breaks up with Jamie, even though they both love each other. She believes it's the only way to protect him. Jamie is devastated. For the first time in his life, money, success, and charm mean nothing. Jamie tries to move on. He focuses on his career again, but nothing feels the same. He realizes that all the success in the world means nothing if Maggie isn't in his life. Eventually, Jamie understands something important. Love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about choosing someone, even when life becomes difficult. So he makes a decision. Jamie drives to find Maggie again. When he finally sees her, he tells her something simple but powerful. He knows her illness will get worse. He knows the future will be hard, but he doesn't care because he loves her and he chooses to stay. In the final moments of the movie, Jamie and Maggie are together again. Their future is uncertain. The disease hasn't disappeared. Life will still be difficult. But for the first time, Maggie allows herself to believe that she doesn't have to face it alone. And Jamie finally becomes the kind of man he never thought he could be. Not a selfish salesman, but someone capable of real love. And that's the emotional story of Love and Other Drugs. A movie that reminds us that love isn't always perfect. And sometimes the most meaningful relationships come with the greatest challenges. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure you like the video, subscribe to Recap House, and comment the next movie you want me to explain, because the next story might be even more unbelievable.